Today is Community Tour Monday, and we are checking out the neighborhood of Crest on Lake Conroe. What's up, everyone? It's Jeff with Jeff West Properties, your host for the Conroe Living Channel, where we identify and celebrate everything that makes Conroe, Texas, one of the fastest growing cities in America. Take it away, future me. Welcome to another property tour from the Conroe Living Channel. Today we're in the neighborhood of Crest. Let's take a look. Crest on Lake Conroe is a DR Horton Community, which broke ground in 2016. It's a master planned community that's been built out in stages with 17 unique sections. When completed, it will have about 800 houses. I'm basing that on this map and my incredible ability to guess how many gumballs are in a jar. It's a short 4-mile drive west of Interstate 45 on the eastern shore of Lake Conroe. It's a great neighborhood for families, and that includes your hairier family members. Being in Montgomery County in the Piney Woods region of Texas, Crest has made it a point to marry residences with existing landscape, leaving lots of nature to explore along the walking paths that weave throughout the community. You may see a family of turtles, or possibly Bigfoot. There's also a stocked fishing pond with a private dock. Residents take advantage of Crest's rec center and clubhouse. Featuring 2 community pools, both to relax in and to get your laps in. Current listings range from $300,000 to just above $500,000. Recently, they've broken ground on the last phase of building with 2 new sections. In one section, there are currently 8 floor plans to choose from. The new section of Crest has rolling hills throughout that you don't find a lot in Montgomery County. In fact, check this out. My client just broke ground on their new home, and when it's finished, look at the view they're gonna have. Interestingly enough, Crest on Lake Conroe wasn't really on Lake Conroe. Until now. Though Crest has been around for a few years, this newest section will be the first time that they feature lakefront lots, starting in the 700s going into the millions. The huge waterfront lots will feature the Emerald Home series with elevated design choices and layouts. Welcome back to the Conroe Living Studio, which is definitely a real studio and not just an extra room in my house. That is a preview of Crest on Lake Conroe. It's been around for a few years, but with this new section going in, I have a feeling it's going to be one of the more popular communities for people to move to in the Conroe and greater Montgomery County area. I've got 2 clients currently under contract this month that are building out there, and I imagine there's going to be a lot more. So could Crest be right for you? I'm going to give you a pros cons list, the good and the bad of living in the neighborhood. But before I continue, would you do me a favor? Click that like button. Whenever you do that, it tells YouTube that, well, you like it.
You like me. You really like me.
And when you click that like button, the little YouTube algorithm robot says, okay, well, these fine people like this video and they've got really good taste, so we should put this in front of more people. And then the video gets seen by more and more people. Next thing you know, I'm an influencer and I've got my own clothing line and perfume, cologne, deli meats. I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead, but it starts with you helping me out clicking that like button. Also, whenever you interact with a video in any way, it does that same thing. So I'm going to start a poll in the comments. Tell me your favorite deli meat. Yeah, so I'm going to plan my future for when I get to be a big deal with your help. Tell me your favorite cold cuts in the comments. Okay, let's get to the pros and cons of living in Crest. I'm going to alternate these. So the first pro, it is one of the only communities on Lake Conroe that is actually in the city of Conroe. So much of the shoreline is found in the communities of Montgomery on the west side. On the northeast, you've got Willis, and even far north there's Huntsville, but there's very little shoreline in the city of Conroe itself. Most of that is taken up by the Lake Conroe Dam. So if you want to live the lake life and still want that Conroe address, this is on the very short list of places to consider. The first con is, even though it is in the city of Conroe, it's actually zoned to the Willis School District. Now, please don't get me wrong, Willis is a fine school district. It's actually trended up in the last several years. But Conroe is the number 2 rated school district, public school district in the state of Texas, so a lot of people want that Conroe address. So if you're looking for that Conroe address in the Conroe School District, this may not be the community for you. Another pro of living in Watercrest, it's a relatively affordable community. Unlike some of the other communities that were started in the 70s and 80s on the lake, Watercrest doesn't have a house older than 2016 where they first broke ground. And if you're looking for lakefront property, it's hard to get anything more affordable, especially for a brand new home. Another con, there's only one builder. Unlike a lot of the master plan communities in the Montgomery County area, Watercrest is a DR Horton exclusive community. Now, when you get builder communities, a lot of times people think that all the houses are going to be cookie cutter because there's just one builder. I will say that DR Horton has done a really good job of offering different floor plans and different elevations to set the homes apart. Another pro, Watercrest has hills. Now, I grew up in Conroe. I always remember it being totally flat, and so I was really surprised when I started to see communities that have rolling hills, have different terrain, and Watercrest is definitely one of those. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not talking about Austin and the Texas Hill Country, but for the greater Houston area, it's pretty impressive. As I showed previously in the video, some of the houses, like my clients who are building right now, have some amazing views of the lake, even though they're not lakefront. So to show the difference in elevation, I started my drone at the end of a street where it was right at roof line and brought it back to me where it was at street level, just to show you the height difference. So at the last minute, I'm really glad I was paying attention because, yeah, that could have been ugly. Another con, and this is true of most communities in this price point when they're brand new, you're living right on top of your neighbors. Most of the houses are going to be no more than 10 feet away from their neighbors with 5 feet of easement on your side, 5 feet on their side. This is just the way new home communities build out. They want to maximize their profits by getting as much square footage into the lots, as many houses as possible. So it's just something that comes with the territory. Now, if you have a little more money, you may want to consider something like the gated section of Royal Key where they have estate lots and you've got lots of room to spread out. Okay, one final pro, one final con. The final pro of living in Watercrest is it's got its own private lake access and boat launch to residents. Forget having to launch in those public areas that are all congested. When you live in Watercrest, you have your own gated access so you can launch right from your own neighborhood. And one final con, Watercrest has a high tax rate, currently at 3.014. Now, this is what you're going to find in most of the brand new communities where they don't have infrastructure because the mud taxes are going to be high. If you don't know what that means, I've got a video you can check out on the different costs of living in the state of Texas, and mud taxes are a pretty big one. But when you consider that right next door, the next community over, Longmire on Lake Conroe, only has a 2.1% tax, it shows you that there's a premium in living in a new community. So if higher tax rates are an issue, this may be a community you want to avoid. So on that note, if you have any questions about anything just like this, or about any properties in the greater Montgomery County or greater Houston area, pick up the phone, give me a call, text, or email. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. If you're thinking about making a move to Texas, there's a lot of things you're going to need to know, and that's what I'm here for. I'm a relocation specialist who's helped people from all over the globe relocate to our area. And for more information on one of the fastest growing cities in America, Conroe, Texas, make sure to subscribe to the Conroe Living Channel. You can get to know all about the city that I love and call home. If you're interested in other communities, you may want to check out this playlist.